Hello guys, welcome to part 2 of locating our true north. And in this part, we're going to focus on knowing how we can, map our journey when it comes to locating our true north. Because you need to be very specific on what you're doing, otherwise you'll miss it. So Paul, maybe you can take us through on how we can.
Yes. So how can we do that? It is a journey that starts inside out. So I'll tell you a mistake many people make. A mistake that many people make is they look at the world and they ask, how can we fit into that world based on how the world presents itself? The best route is to start from inside out. So knowing this is who I am, knowing these are the strengths that I have, knowing these are the giftings that I have, these are the things I do naturally. I feel very good when I do. This is what the first pointer of true north is. So, and how do you get to know this? There are people around you that will ask you, hey, well, by the way, when you do this and this, you do it very well, and you don't seem to struggle. You don't seem to have any problem, any issues. That is a pointer to what your true north is. There are other times you'll do something and you feel very fulfilled, very happy that you did it. In fact, when you're doing things that are aligned to you, you don't even get hungry. You don't get tired.
You just feel
You
like
just
you
go
want to
and
keep
go
on going.
and go and go. And I'll give you an example. Like for me, I think by my true north is being a teacher. That's why I'm a coach. Not a teacher at school, but a teacher on matters to do with life and business. And that's why I have now fully focused on helping professionals and business people. When I'm seated and talking to professionals and business people and we are discussing issues of professional growth or business growth and looking at the various way of doing things right, I don't get tired. I can do it forever. Actually, even in this show, if you don't stop me, we will go until whatever, tomorrow. Why? Because this is something that flows naturally. And that's the same for all of us. So what are those things that you feel so connected with when you do? And just to give an example, because of being connected to the need to develop people and to help people grow, I left a career, or I shifted from a career that everybody wanted to be in, IT, information technology, working for global organizations, big organizations. Of course, even today, there are people who know me for IT. But I switched to a completely different field, and I went back to school to do psychology. And not just any psychology, industrial psychology. Why? Because I felt that that is what actually connected with me. So if you put me with machines behind the scenes, fine, I enjoy that because it's technology and all that, but I'm happier with people when you're discussing issues of life, when you're discussing issues of progress. And I don't like seeing people stagnate. I like seeing people grow. So because of that, I found it very easy to do psychology at college, even when I was very busy working, being a parent, being a husband. I did it, and I graduated with first class honors, and I did my master's very well as well. And I've written books. Why? Is it because it's easy? No, it is not easy. There are people who dropped out. There are people who couldn't complete. There are people who started writing books they never finished. But it is because it naturally connects with me. So when you know those things that connect with you and you do them without struggle, then that is what becomes important. And you also ask the question, why should we do that? Why should we locate the true north? Because if you don't locate your true north, you'll be a slave your whole life. Why would you be a slave? Because you'll be helping other people live up to their true north without necessarily living yours. The best scenario in the world is where everybody lives their purpose and we interconnectedly help one another. Okay, so that you are very good in helping people and unearthing the truth and equipping people, but you have given us the opportunity to work with you. So you are fulfilling your purpose and I'm fulfilling mine, and the camera people and everybody else, they are fulfilling their purpose. So when everybody does their bit, we come up with an amazing, great world where everybody is happy, where everybody is fulfilled, and where everybody feels they are true, real human beings. So if you don't locate your true north, then you will only be escorting others. While others are very happy.
You're just existing.
You just exist. You wake up in the morning, you know there are people who fear Sunday evening a lot. Why? Because they don't know where they're going tomorrow. Or rather, they don't like it. Because they are in a place, they just found themselves there because the world threw them there. They didn't locate themselves there. So they don't like it. But there are other people who really look forward to the end of the weekend so that tomorrow they can go work, meet their clients, meet their customers, run their shows, run their businesses, and so on and so forth. They look forward to that. Why? Because it is what gives them life. That is why some people live very fulfilled life, even when they don't have a lot of money. Well, others live very miserable life, even when they have a lot of money. And many times we miss the success factor here. Sometimes we think successful people are the ones who have 1, 2, 3.
We equate it with material things.
With material things. And material things are important because they help us. But if those material things are coming through routes that don't connect with you, then you'll have all of them and you'll not be sleeping at night and you will not be happy and you'll be stressed up, you'll be depressed. That's why there's a lot of mental illnesses today. Very issue. People are really suffering because they are in spaces, it's like a cog. If you're all like we say round pegs in square pegs, they cannot. You cannot have square pegs go into round pegs. Why into round holes? Why? Because they are not the same shape. But if you have a square peg going into a square hole, it gets in very, very well. That's the same with our lives. When you live a life that is aligned to you, and you're not trying to compare yourself or to compete with others, because that's the biggest problem of life, when we try to compare ourselves. Oh, so and so you went to school with them, now they are doing this and I am not, and you feel nothing, like you're nothing, like you've achieved nothing. That is very dangerous. The thing is, it doesn't matter what others have achieved. The question, have you achieved what is aligned to you? Because then if you're doing that, then you will be very happy to do that. So I always say the ultimate thing that everyone is looking for in life is happiness.
True.
It's happiness. And some people call happiness fulfillment, contentment. So how many people today will tell you, go to any particular grouping, how many people will tell you truly, I am happy and contented in my life? Very few will do that. Why? Because we missed a step. But it's not too late, because you can always, we say, you cannot change the past, but you can make a brand new life moving on. You may have lost 10 years, but you can recover your 10 years in the next 5 years if you get the right direction. Because if you get the right direction, you have the right energy, you have the right motivation, you have the right way of and associations, because you are in your right space. So no struggle. So when you are in your space, it will take you very short time to achieve what you would otherwise have taken very long to achieve. So anyone that would be feeling today that they have missed, and that's not the right position. Is that yes, you may have missed, but you can make the right decision today. You can make the right path today. It's never too late. We have heard of people who started at their 50s and their 60s. Some even started at their 70s.
Like the KFC guy.
Like the KFC guy. You may have listened, may her soul rest in peace. She was my friend. Look at me forgetting her name. Lizzie Wanyoike. She gives her story of how she started her schools at 50. Yeah. She did all that work that we see was done and everybody respected, was only done within a span of less than 20 years. So some people would think I'm too old to start. And the tragedy of it also is that some people think I'm too young to start. The thing is, where you are, that's the right time to start. If you're a student, focus rightly. If you are in college, focus rightly. If you're running a certain business, focus rightly. If you're pursuing a certain career, focus rightly. This is the best time. So we say the best time to do the thing that you wanted to do 10 years ago is now. So let nobody think they are late. Let nobody think it is too difficult. And for those who think it is difficult and they need assistance, that's where we are there. To coach, to mentor, to consult. Because you also have very many people who are in businesses that they love and they like, but they are not being productive. They are not profitable. Just because they are not putting a few things right. So such people should not get discouraged. What they need to do is seek assistance, because there is great joy and happiness in doing what one is meant to do and have it done productively. Wow. And it is not just activity, because I am always quick to differentiate between activity and productivity. So many people are busy with activity. You know, someone can be very busy, they feel very tired in the day, and when you ask them, what did you achieve? Nothing. Now, why? Because they focused on being busy, not being in business.
You need to be results oriented.
You need to be result oriented. And that answers the question of measurement, right? How do you measure that you're doing things right? First of all, you must be very clear on goals. In the year we are now in 2024. Do you know how 2024 is going to end? You know, sometimes we say we leave it to God. But you know, the interesting thing is that most of the time God actually is waiting on you. So when you're waiting on God, God is waiting on you. Why? God has given you great brains, great energy, great people around you, great country to be in. With all our challenges, God has equipped us. So the question is, what are we doing with that equipping? So many times we just leave it to God, but we need, even as we have faith in God, we need to plan. We need to desire. We need to aspire. So say, now it is 2024. By the end of 2024, I want to be, this is my net worth. This is the number of customers I want to have. This is the number of acres I want to have farmed. This is the number of shows I want to have done. This is the number of things I want to. So the moment you put that desire across in form of a plan, it becomes very easy to fulfill it. If you do not, then it becomes very difficult, because your energies get so diverted everywhere. So it is when you are clear on what needs to be done that you don't waste energy. And by the way, the very basic definition of focus and setting up goals and what we call SMART goals is the art of saying no to very many petty things and saying yes to very few vital things. So do few things, do them well.
In a great way.
In a great way. You're not in the world to do everything. You're not in the world to achieve everything. You're not even in the world to please everybody, because sometimes we plan, we think we need to please everybody. We can't. We can't even win the approval of everybody.
Sure.
We can't, there's so many things we can do because we are limited as human beings. But there are some things we can do so well, and within that, we are unlimited. All right? Because you are unlimited in your area of expertise or focus or giftings. But in other areas, you'll do very badly. So, understanding that it is very necessary to live in one's true north, planning and knowing actually what that is, setting clear goals on what needs to be done, short term, medium term, long term, and executing it on a daily basis using what we call productive habits. Because I can tell you, one other thing that messes people is poor habits. Poor habits. And you are a sum total of your habits, what you do on a daily basis. So if on a daily basis you are, let's say, you do things late, what do we brand you? We call you a late comer. If on a daily basis you do things in an excellent way, what do we say? Or if you're meeting your goals, what do we say? We say you are achieving your results. We say you are a hard worker. So the things that you exhibit on a daily basis are the things that make you.
They define us.
They define us. So we say, in the journey of being the true self, plan yourself and adopt great habits. Grab habits of planning, of learning, continuous learning, of persistence, of resilience, of keeping your promises, of if you promise customer this, deliver it, and so on and so forth. So the things and the way we do things on a daily basis determine who it is that we are and who we become. So is it possible? Yes, it is possible to locate your true north. Is it necessary? Yes, it is actually extremely important. Otherwise, we'll not be happy without that. And is it on the grand scheme of things? What is it for? The world benefits a lot from people that live authentic life, live their own lives, and they do the best of who they are. Without that, we are all messed up.
Wow. As you were talking, you reminded me of Miles Monroe. In one of his books, he has stated that the grave is the richest place on earth, because that is where so much potential is that was untapped.
Yes.
And so I'm reminded of him and how he has, elaborated how we have great musicians there. We have, great poetries there. We have these great men and women just lying there.
Yes.
Because they did not give the world.
Exactly. Their best.
Yes.
And he's also the same one that says, the greatest tragedy on earth is not death. It is actually living without a purpose. Yeah. It is the biggest thing we should fear is not death. It is living aimlessly. Like what is gonna be said of us at that final day? Because a final day is coming. Sometimes people say I'm being too much when I ask them, when do you want to die?
So when do you want to die yourself? Let me revert the question to you.
Right? Now, when do you want to die? For me, that question is important. But more important is, within that time that you want to live, what do you want to do? What will you accomplish? How different will the world be because you are there. And I start all the way from, start from your family. If you are not there in that family, how would it look like? How different is that home because you are there?
Yeah.
In your workspace, how different would it be if you're not there?
So what is our value?
Exactly. What value are we adding?
Yeah.
What value are we adding? The other day I was talking to some student and I was telling them, you don't work with what you don't have. You work with what you have and change your world. And I told them, for you to easily remember have means you must be a helpful person. If you want the world to add value to you, you have to add value to it through being helpful. So are you a helpful person at home? Are you a helpful person at work? Are you a helpful person in your community? Are you a helpful person to your friends? Helpful.
Or you're that person who will, your absence is their pleasure.
You know, every people
It's
worry
when
you are there, when you're not there.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh my goodness, he has come again.
Then God is not coming to act.
Exactly. So
then God dad came late. Then
exactly.
God mom didn't show up today.
There you are. There are so many people like that.
Tragic.
It's tragic. That is living a life without a purpose. Living a purposeful life means everyone wants to be, they say, we cannot make this decision without Fancy. Mm-hmm. We want to hear what Fancy thinks about this.
Yeah.
If Fancy was here, these things wouldn't be happening. Yeah. Or these things would have gotten sorted very well. Yeah. You know, why? Because you are living your life purposefully, meaningfully, not just aimlessly. So you're right. The richest place today is the grave. So what do you have, therefore, to live and change the world? Be helpful, be adaptive. Adaptive also means that you cannot change what happens around you, but you can change the way you approach it. Being adaptive means that, has this happened? How can I change and model and mold myself to live on, to survive on, to actually be more productive, even if the circumstances around me are not the best. Those are the people that live the best life, the adaptable people, right? And they become adaptable because they are open-minded. Mm-hmm. You don't lock yourself into some space and say things can only happen this way. Or if so-and-so is not there, things cannot happen. Or if I'm not in this and this, working in this space, things cannot happen. Or if I don't, no, you can't condemn yourself to some things, mm-hmm. because there are so many possibilities in life. Yeah. So be adaptable and change as things change for the positive. Be malleable, because if you're so rigid, you break. And V is for what you said, value. What value are you adding where you are? Yeah. And as you said, there are people we celebrate when they are not there. And we agonize if they are there, because they're not adding value. Mm-hmm. They're taking. There's people by there who just take. They exhaust because they drain. Mm-hmm. They do not know when to stop and how to stop, and they will not add any value. So we are built and we are helpful in the world if we are adding value. And finally, we need to do it in an excellent way. Now, many people are given work to do, or they do work in a very mediocre way. So, and this is the end result of not being in the space you're not supposed to be in. Because you cannot be excellent in other people's space. You'll be excellent in your own domain. So do whatever it is that you're doing with excellence. Like we were saying, let people call you this person. They associate your excellence with you. Mm-hmm. That if you want the best meat, go to this place. Mm-hmm. If you want the best mutuba, go to this place. Yeah. If you want the best electricians, go to this place. Because it is known that when you are given work to do, mm-hmm. you do it with excellence. And this is what differentiates, this is what gives life meaning. And this is why you will be very proud when you are aged. Have you ever heard of people who fear old age and retirement?
Yeah,
They
because
fear.
you're not prepared.
Exactly. Because you didn't exert yourself accordingly when you are energetic, when you are youthful. So, but there are some old men who are very courageous. Have you ever seen old men who are like, not even when they are there, they feel very happy.
Yeah.
They exerted themselves well when they lived, when in their youth. And they feel, in psychology, we say, you either live in despair or in wisdom. You feel you can advise a young man somewhere, young women, some different people, because you have lived it up yourself.
In fact, the proud ones will even ensure they've mentored.
Exactly.
So that when they are not there,
yes,
their legacy lives behind.
Exactly.
But now those who are clinging,
and others are ashamed of themselves.
They don't want to even go. It's like they're fighting.
Yes. What did you do? What did you achieve?
Yeah.
And in fact, I was reading somewhere this morning before I came of the people who refuse to retire. They are at work and they have refused to, the retirement has come, they are 60, but they don't want to
They're
go.
still holding on.
Yes. Why? Because they never lived their own life. They feel, without this company, I'm nothing. Without these people, I'm nothing.
So they've taken other things to be their identity.
Exactly. So you see now the danger of not knowing your identity early. Because you live other people's life. So when your life, you must live your life. You can't. Such people, we are told they die in 3 years.
After retirement.
After retirement. Because they don't know how to live their life. They don't know how to be me.
Their life depended on...
Yes, they are so dependent on others.
Yeah.
So that's a tragedy. That's a tragedy. So let's encourage everyone. Let everybody be encouraged to find themselves, to find their space, to find their niche, to find their areas of strength, and actually live it up. Because no other way to be truly happy, no other way to be meaningful, no other way to be fulfilled, no other way to be of value to this world. The universe needs you, the original, not other people.
Authentic.
And authentic. One of the books I read a long time ago and it changed my life was titled, You Are Born an Original, Don't Die a Copy. There are so many people who are copies today, copycats. So, and you can imagine if you live life and you are not living. So you're living life, but other people's lives. So you're being tossed up and down. It is a misery. It is better not to actually live. So let's live life. Let everybody wake up and do what they are meant to do.
Sure.
And they should be courageous because it's not easy, but it is the only way to be happy.
Yeah.
Yes.
So how can, as young parents, as we bring our children, how can we help them from a tender age to start locating their true north? Very good question, because there are two very important people in this world, and number one is a parent, number two is a teacher. Of course, God is important because He is in us and with us. Parents mess up their children very early because of a number of things. One of them is comparing them. Why can't you be like your brother? Why can't you be like your sister? Why are you so this? Now we call that negative motivation to do the right things. Negative motivation to do the right things does not work with human beings. So what it does, it makes them rebellious. So they know even if I do anything, I'll still be compared with my brother, with my sister. Same thing at school. Why can't you be as so-and-so? Why is it that we are teaching you all and you're getting it differently? This is a failure to appreciate that people are different. Every parent must understand their children are different. So the biggest
work of a parent is to locate, actually, to help their children locate their true self by knowing, I know this one is very good. When I tell them to clean here, this one does a very good job. But when I tell them to go and do homework, this one is not very good. So you should start from an early age knowing he's very good at relating with people. This is very respectful. Yeah. He's very good in expressing themselves. He's very good in doing, so that we can help align them with their careers later in life. Worst of them being comparison. That must be stopped. So, the other thing is, the parents need to be careful where they expose their children to, even including school. You don't take your children to any school. Take them to a school where they are respected for who they are. You cannot take your children to a school where children are being castigated by the teacher all the time on the basis of where they come from, or their names, or their capability to do maths or English or something. Everyone must be treated as a human before they are judged for any other thing. So where do you expose your children? Take them to a school where they will feel respected and encouraged, irrespective of their competencies. Take them to a church where they will not be taught to always be guilty and timid. Remember, we say you are who you are because of two things: because of your nature and nurture. Nature is the physiological or the DNA composition that you have. So that you inherited that from your parents. So that's why some people are born shy, others are born courageous, others are talkative, others are quiet, and all those people are okay. When you're training, when you're coaching people, we take them through personality testings. And what is very interesting is to note that some people are very happy with their personalities, others are not happy with their personalities. And a question we always ask is, which personality do you think is the best?
All.
So, yeah.
I would say all.
Exactly. There is no personality that is inferior to the other. There is no personality that is superior to the other. All of them are very important. For instance, some people are very organized. They can do office work very easy, and they can do repetitive tasks very easily. Other people don't want that. They're very good at seeing the big picture. That's how they become entrepreneurs. But those entrepreneurs need those people who can organize their office. Other people are very shallow in terms of they don't go into depth. And there's nothing wrong with that. The reason they don't go into depth is because they see the big picture. But they need another person who can see the details of everything to become the accountants, the analysts, and so on. So everybody is important. So if you're a parent and you have children that are differently gifted, you need to respect that and help them. Some want to be singers, let them sing. Others want to be dancers, let them dance. Others want to be poets, let them do. Others just want to be artists, draw, scientists, engineers. Let everybody be what they need to be. Do not take your child from their water, being fish, and take them to the land. We are told if you ask fish to compete with a monkey to climb a tree,
it will definitely fail.
Yeah, and the same thing, if you ask the monkey to go to the waters, it will fail. Yeah. So all of us must learn to remain in our domains of influence, domains of strength, and we will perform greatly.
Wow. We are at times that we have our Form 4s that had just cleared their, their exams, their national exams, and then they're looking forward to enroll to universities and colleges. And you'll find we have parents who, forcibly dictate, this is what you're going to do. I must have a doctor in my house. So we shelve our kids' passion and put our own interests because maybe, as you said, standards of the society.
Yes.
What will you tell such parents?
I'll tell that parent to consider three things. One is not the career necessary that the child takes. The number one responsibility of a parent to the child is to make them real human beings, humane. If someone loves themselves, respect themselves, respect other people around them, they will survive whatever they do, whether they become engineers. I don't care what they do out there. No. For as long as they are okay with self and they are okay with other people, those people will navigate anywhere because they have been trained to be humane, true human beings. Now, the second thing to align them to their careers, consider three things. Number one is their natural competencies. Don't take a child to be an engineer and they were meant to be journalists, because they wouldn't. And by the way, I've had a number of cases where people are directed. So today we respect some particular careers. I want my child, as you say, to be an engineer. So I take them to a particular primary school. They are prepared particularly for the exam. They go to high school, they are prepared to pass the exam. All this time, nobody is caring, are they becoming human beings?
We don't prepare them for the world.
No, we don't prepare them for the world. The skills to live, to survive. So we want them to go pass exams. Then they pass, and I have many cases where people go to do engineering at JKUAT, Nairobi University, or other places, and they don't finish. And even if they finish, they can't do much with it. So consider your child's passion. Actually, I call them 3P of purpose. Passion, which is out of who they are, all right? And it's able to know the area of passions. You sure cannot live with a child for 1 year, 5 years, 10 years, and you don't know their natural inclinations. So there are some who will be very good marketers because they easily speak to people and they don't fear. Others like, looking at things from all angles. Those will become analysts, and they can do well with heavy careers that require a lot of quiet time, sitting and reading heavy books. So you got to know who they are. So consider their passion, which is informed by their natural inclinations. Also consider their profession. So what can they do matched with their natural inclinations to build a profession or to become professionals in that area? So forget about first. I usually say money you can make in any field for as long as you are in the right domain. Because are there people, for instance, today making money through farming?
Sure.
Are there people who are not making money through farming? Yeah. Are there people who are trained engineers and they are doing great in their lives? Are there other people who are trained to be engineers and they are doing nothing with their lives? True. Same thing with doctors. Any field you go to, there are people who are doing well and there are people who are not doing well. So it is not where you are. It is actually how you navigate it and negotiate it. And finally, ensure to that they can now link who they are, their passion, with their profession, and they need to be trained on how this profession can be profitable, right? So that, of course, as you do things that align to you, that are natural to you, they also must make meaning in terms of being profitable to you. Because if you're doing things that are not profitable, you will get tired if they're not bringing money. At least money to help you survive basic life. Are you feeding? Do you have a place to live? Are you able to take your children to school? Are you able to do a few projects here and there? The more you can be able to do, the better. So parents need to see not just now, they need to see future and in an open-minded way, and more importantly, aligning their children with the right fields or the right professions that match their competencies.
Wow.
They should not force. No child should be forced. They can be rationalized, because also children also need to be advised, of course. We cannot say parents should not discuss these things. And it is also not always that a child will want to do something for the right reasons. They choose not because they know. They choose because they have heard, it's an amazing thing to be a lawyer. It's an amazing thing to be a doctor.
That has reminded me when I finished my Form 4.
Yeah. What did you want to become?
And we had that discussion with my father.
Yeah.
And I told him I want to be a DJ.
Look at now the DJing you're doing.
My dad was on fire.
Yes.
Did you say a DJ?
What is that?
But funny enough, the DJs of our time, I think they are Kina DJ more, are doing very well.
Yes. You see, if you do what you is inclined to, there are also DJs who are doing very badly.
I know, right?
Right? That is why he needed not to castigate it because of the profession it is. He needed to castigate it because maybe you cannot do it. But if you can do it, you should actually be encouraged.
Yeah, I think
right?
Because of my personality, I felt I don't want to be in a boring career, you know.
Yeah, you want
yes, I want somewhere there's life.
Yes.
And so my dad looks at me like, it's like he didn't hear. Did you say, oh?
Yeah.
And to date, my brother always makes a joke out of that. And every time he jokes, my dad looks at him like, what are you saying? You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, but looking back, I think I'm grateful.
Yep.
Although I feel there are still DJs who did very well.
Yes, they are. Yeah. But so what you look is relativity.
Yeah.
So out of 10 that do this, and that is an area of art which still can be converted to something else. Yeah. But it can be a subset. Being a DJ can just be a subset of being a sound engineer. So you have been trained as a sound engineer or an IT person, or you can handle equipment, and later on you can, during the day, do your IT stuff or do your sound technician work or things like that. In the evening, you're still using the same equipment to do the DJing. So you don't necessarily restrict yourself to, I am this. It is looking at the bigger scheme of it and say, okay, if you want to do DJ, that's fine. But in addition to that, or to give it a bigger scope, let's do this area of study, and within that, DJing will be there. Yep.
Paul, we are very grateful to have you in the show, for honoring our invite. And now I wanted to give you a last shot on this, and maybe you can tell us 3 things that helped you locate your true north.
Right. 3 things that helped me locate my true north. Number 1 is reading. As I earlier mentioned to you that one of the books that transformed me when I was a young man in college was reading a book called You Are Born an Original, Don't Die a Copy. And I was amazed because this book told me many things that other people are not telling me, pastors were not telling me, other people and lecturers were not telling me, but this book told me, look at the original you. Don't apologize for being in the world. You know, there are people who walk in this town like they are being rained on. Like they are apologizing. Sorry guys, I'm in this world, but I think I'm not
meant to
be here, guys. So guys, just bear with me. Please live life without apologies.
Walk head
high. It doesn't matter what you're doing. It doesn't matter whether you're employed, you're not employed, your business is giving good returns or not. It doesn't matter whether you did engineering or you're a doctor or you did secretary, or you must be truly proud of who you are. So from that time, respecting me for who I am without caring too much what other people would think. Because if you listen too much around you, there's too much noise that will dissuade you from being you. So I learned that the only best way to live life is to be original me. And I, from that point, did not do anything just to please people. I have done so many things that sometimes make me a contrarian. That means people usually follow this route, and I take a little different route, right? A good example even now is, I told you I was in a certain career and I changed. How many people change careers? When I was changing, people were wondering, are you crazy? How would you go to do reading? After all that reading and doing great jobs in IT? And that when I went back to school, I was taking care of a large region called English Africa. Today, I think we call it Sub-Saharan Africa. I was taking care of so many countries in IT. Everybody wanted to be.
No one could understand.
How would
just
you?
When your career has still, you're at the peak.
Yes, you should actually be going to master more of IT, more of career. But I didn't feel any connection in terms of wanting to advance that. My connection was people. I wanted to be with people. I wanted to make people more productive. Even at work, I looked for, even in IT, I did a lot of training people, IT and integration with life. Young engineers, when they come, nurturing them, telling them about life, from even long before I did psychology. So appreciating and respecting me and not allowing anybody to demean me, to veer me off, or to intimidate me to not living myself. I would not allow that. That's number one. Number two is, I think, discipline. Discipline, sometimes we mention it just like casually, but discipline is the ability to know what you need and pursue it relentlessly, without being distracted. So that discipline to know what needs to be done and actually going ahead and doing it, to me, has been very, very helpful. Because without that, then it will not be possible to do so many things at the same time, and all of them stay afloat. Some would easily sink. So, and the discipline to know that even if you do not see the value now, I see it myself, and I'll follow it. So the discipline not to be distracted by others, right, becomes very, very, very important, or has been very important to me. So the things that we usually call influence or negative influences, peer influence. Peer influence is not only in, sometimes you think it's just teenagers that are influenced by peers.
It's across.
It is everywhere. Adults.
You can, even adults.
Yeah,
like adults like you, not me.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, like we, even at retirement, people will always be influenced by other people. That's why you hear people, they have been given money, and instead of taking care of it in their retirement, they take it, I don't know to where their gold is being multiplied or something like that, and they lose everything.
They're called what, those things?
Yeah? Wash, guys.
The wash.
Yes.
Why? Multiply money. You don't want us to multiply money.
Yeah, So don't multiply money. Well, of course, multiply it.
It's not logic.
Multiply it by not funga macho, fungua macho. No, multiply it by putting it in the right investments. Yeah. Putting it in the yield. Sometimes I tell these people, don't even put that money anywhere. Put it in an account that earns money, that's earning interest, because you have no energy and time to follow business very closely.
Yeah.
All right. So discipline, therefore, has been a very critical factor of success. And just the ability, what we ordinarily call resilience. I think resilience has also helped me a lot. Resilience to know that is where I am going, all right? And I will easily see something else that I can do, another thing I can do, but the power to stay put on the original direction with relevant adjustments and flexibilities is important. So those are things that I think have helped me over time. And looking at where I'm coming from, I think I'm happy with what I have achieved as a person, and even more importantly, at the kind of impact I have contributed to the world around me, and I continue doing simply by those three things: locating self, being so clear of who I am as a person, being disciplined to actually stick to that, and being resilient towards the pursuits of what need to be achieved.
And to many of us who look upon you, because you can't go to source mentorship where you've seen failure. So I know you have mentored many of us. You continue mentoring others as well. We are happy. So we want you to keep going so that we also keep, changing our goals to make them become higher. Sometimes we set goals that are scary. But then when we remember those who are ahead of us have done it, we are like, we also got this.
Can do it.
So I would like you to tell our viewers, I know you have books. You are an author, as you mentioned. Where can we find your books? Yes.
All right. So my books are available. Most of the times, my books are accessed by my clients because I train people at their workspaces, both. It's overall coaching. So I do coach groups or one-on-ones, individuals. So most of our books we supply ourselves. We actually don't put our books in bookshops.
Okay.
We take our books to where the people are.
You deliver.
We deliver, but even it's amazing. It's amazing because so many of our books, and not only books and our services, are actually picked from us through referrals. Someone read a book, said it's a very good book, and they said someone else to, where did you get this book? We got it from this and this, and we can deliver, but more importantly, we like teaching people. Because it's good to read a book, but it is even better to interact with it. So people can go, that want our books, can go to our website. I am the founder and the lead coach at an organization called Better People Consulting. So if one goes to www.betterpeople.co.ke, they'll find us there. They can ask questions, they can order for books from there, they can even more importantly order for coaching, trainings for their staff, those people who have businesses, for their own coaching, for people that have businesses, for professionals that want to grow, and for people that simply want to improve themselves as individuals.
Okay.
And when they do it there, we will be able to, we have infrastructure to enable that on our website.
Okay. I also know you run programs. Is there any that is running currently?
Yes, we are running we are now in the month of February.
Yes.
So we are running one currently, but we have a class that is starting in, well, it will look like it's a little far because it's May. Because the current class is already...
So that's the next cohort, May?
That's the next cohort, yes.
What do we do if we want to book?
If you want to book, again, go to our website. We have a booking infrastructure there. But you don't have to wait. I would advise, if you want to learn, don't wait for our cohorts. Because you can see now, if you wait for May, it might take a bit of time. I advise people, if you are in an organization, organize yourself as a group. If you are running a business, put your employees together. Let's teach them a lesson per week. Over a period of, say, 10 weeks, those people will be changed. By the time you finish with them, they'll be changed. If you're in a church and you have a group of that you want to develop, put yourselves together. We will come and train them. We'll discuss on the days and the timings and all that. So, and that is actually our approach. We want to not to organize more of these trainings ourselves, but we want people to organize themselves and tell us what is it that they want to achieve. Then we tailor make solutions to them.
Okay.
So what I would encourage people is just get in touch with us, ask us, or let's see how we can be of help to them, whether as groups or as individuals, and that I think will be the best mode of helping.
Okay.
Yes.
Do you have like a mobile number maybe for the
Yes. People can reach to, we actually have numbers on that. And I'm trying to remember our help desk number. But they can still contact me on my number, which is 0722 868602.
Okay.
I think I'll give you then the generic number after this, which can be put on the screen.
Absolutely.
Yes.
We are very happy. We are looking forward for more coaching session. I tell my viewers this is a space of learning and relearning. And that is what you've taught us today, that it is doable despite our age, despite where we are in life. So we are very happy to have you here, and we are definitely looking forward to more. So guys, as we keep on telling you, subscribe, watch, share, like, and above all, leave us your comments at the comment section. Thank you.